Hi, my name is Theodore Cottingham, and I suggest to you this day that the consciousness of mankind is changing. It's developing, it's evolving, yes, but so much more than that. Something's going on in this world, on the planet, in the cosmos. I suggest to you that we are entering a new age, a new dispensation. What about a new point in the cosmos? Or whatever you would like to call it, whatever you would like to appropriate as a phrase of some kind of description, I suggest to you that that which is, that which supersedes us, our intellect, our beginning, that which originated us, the Creator, maybe us. I suggest that maybe before the beginning was formed, we were. We were, I am. We were the consciousness of God's procreation, creation. What if God is a race? What if God is a multi-consciousness that's all connected? Whatever you see God as, whatever your name for God, source, universe, master mind, master computer, I suggest to you that the age that we're in is changing dramatically. And what is returning to us is the knowledge, the fullness of the knowledge of who we are, what we are, where we came from. And it won't be limited to the Bible or the stories of the past. What's coming forth is the knowledge of I am. I am, I am. So, how does this affect you? How is this going to affect the planet, and how will it be received? I suggest to you that the actual story of Jesus is a allegory and a metaphor. It's the story of all of us and each one of us individually. For we each one are to come in to the knowledge of God directly from God. This is the age that every person will face who they are, their origination story, and their ending target. Whether they will abide by the stories of mankind and go peacefully to a grave, surrendering to death, or whether they will behold the master story, the privilege of being the I am mind. Not limited to a soul. Certainly not one that needs to be saved by someone else. For we experience all of this, and it's not vicariously. This is not something that you can accept that was done for you. Every person on earth bears the responsibility for being accountable for what you are to you. You are the judge. You are the judge even now, right now. You are the judge, the jury, The defendant? The prosecution? Who is bringing charges against you to be unworthy, to be equal with God? What if it's God's greatest desire for you to be equal, for you to share the mind of God? Think it not robbery to be equal with God. So how does one come into the knowledge of God this way? To learn to be equal with God, I suggest to you it's learning to hear the voice of God that is already within you. It's the voice within you that you actually can't get rid of. It's your inner voice. I suggest your intellect, your mind, your sentience is all connected already. The only way it can be shut off is for you to train it to be shut off and think your own thoughts, and for you to hide from the revelation that you are the Christ. That the message of Christ is to be the Christ. The message of Christ was always to be the Christ. The message of Christ was that the kingdom of God is here. But believe me, it got truncated. It got altered. It got controlled because there were people in power that had a system that kept them in authority. And they wanted to stay in authority. Isn't that a common ailment of mankind? But I suggest to you, the God story is not like we've been taught. Not like mainstream Christianity. Not like mainstream any religion of. I suggest that the consciousness of the Creator, beholden of the Creator, is when you behold God in your mirror. And you don't create the separation from you and what you call God. Whatever your name for it. Call it Ralph, Susie, Alice. Does it matter? A label does not defeat the love of God. Your practices don't defeat the love of God. The love of God resides in you because you are it. You see, the whole quantum world is not just developing, it's becoming known. And the whole understanding of holograms and an existence that is not limited to 3D is coming about. And who's ready for it? Certainly not the religious that want to sit on their duff, study their books, teach servanthood, followership, being under the authority of someone who authorized themselves to be honored. No, it's a new day. This is the day of the new covenant. And the new covenant is the operation of the promise of God that God would speak to you directly, teach you directly, so that you would learn who you are, not vicariously, not through another man or woman, but you would learn who you are through the word that you speak, that you give birth to birth you anew. The word is the seed. That word comes in you. You surrender to acknowledge a consciousness that in fact begins to validate something in you. Your royalty, You see, a different mindset is emerging. One that is not limited to the authority of the humdrum, so-so world that is dependent upon the dollar, the yen, the shekel. It's a new day. So with this information that I've even spoken about, these 10 minutes, what would I ask you to do? I would ask you to surrender to you. That you would take time to consciously open up your heart, your consciousness to the idea, to the concept that you are a holy being, and the Holy of Holies is in you between your ears. And you have the ability, the right, the provocation, the invitation to go behind the veil, for you to commune directly with God, for you to drink the cup of confusion no more that says you're a separate being from God, to have communion where you are the priest, where the priest is not some authorized person to direct you or maintain some kind of control or authority over you. The patriarchal control of religion is coming down, or is the control of the Christ message crumbling? I ask you this day to lead you. My name is Theodore Cottingham. I became, years ago, a devoted desperate, a desperata to know God. Started spending an hour a day in prayer. And years later began 4 hours a day. And I began to experience God teaching me directly. It began little by little. I've documented this in different videos, different writings. I suggest to you that the heart of God is in you and you're it. The key to the kingdom is surrender, where you surrender to learn. Over the years of my surrendering, listening to the inner voice, channeling, writing and recording what God was giving me over a period of years, there has come all of this body of information that reframes everything. It recontextualizes the message of Christ and the message of who we are and what's available to us and what's in our hand, what's in our mouth, what's in our heart, what we have access to, what we can accomplish, and what's coming about on the earth. And this is the season of the revelation of Christ. The Christ message to be it, where everyone is a Christ that operates in love and can do things you never thought possible. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to lead? Are you ready to learn from your inner voice? Are you ready to no longer be a leader who leads people to be silent and just study the miracles of the past? Are you willing to embrace a new paradigm of education, of who you are, of the whole story of man. It's not a story of man anymore. It's a story of who we are. It's a story of what we're coming into, the consciousness of God replete, the consciousness that is connected and contrives no more a story of separation. In all I've channeled, there were many words about starting a school. So I have in my heart to start a school. I'm in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, USA at the moment. And my web URL is my name, TheodoreCottingham.com. The first 2,400 messages I received that speak about all these things and lay the foundational framework for a new season, a new consciousness, and all of us embracing it, becoming the unlimited Christ that we all are, were, and are again, is now coming about and addressed and freely available to you. So I encourage you to think a new thought. Look into your mirror with love. You're the one. I ask you to love you and to see yourself as worthy. Judge you worthy. To have the mind of God reconnected fully in the fullness of I am and be the one we all thought was another. That's what I ask. Let your leadership arise. Cultivate curiosity. I love you. I honor you this day, and my name is Theodore Cottingham in Eureka Springs. I love you, bless you, honor you. Share these videos, check into my website, begin to search and study and formulate a road, a path that is uniquely yours to become the original I am again.